Hey guys, and welcome back to Brexit Britain. A country, while cleaning out its gun, forgot one bullet in the chamber and promptly shot itself in the face. And also, welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you for all of your messages you sent me, and a special thanks to everybody who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that signed up, so thank you so much for that. I'll go through all the messages, I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all the messages for definite. So it seems that we have a bit of an epidemic in clubs, yeah, where people are going around spiking people with, I don't know, with some type of drugs or something like that. Obviously before, it was people would spike someone's drink, but it seems that people are taking things to a next level now, and spiking people with needles and all that type of stuff. And it seems to be a bit of an epidemic, especially around like the student raves and that type of thing. I'm in clubs all the time. I've never ever seen I've never ever seen anything like this. Do you know what I mean? But then again, I've never ever seen anybody's drink get spiked or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? So it's but this apparently is a major problem that's going around at the moment. So you students, it seems like a lot of you have lost your motherfucking minds, right? Whoever's going around doing this, and I suppose people will be able to get like needles and that type of thing into clubs as well. So it's it's just unbelievable, isn't it? Really, that women already have to like worry about their drink when they go to a club. You know what I mean? They have to, if they've got a bottle of beer or whatever, you see them there and they've got their thumb firmly over the bottle. Do you know what I mean, of beer, right? So it's a terrible situation. Do you know what I mean? With people going and doing this bullshit, terrible situation. Do you know what I mean? This shouldn't be happening, right? So we've got an overnight ban, right, that has come in from Morocco, right? Because you know what they said. You know what? We don't want none of these motherfuckers up in our country, right? Because you know what? Your government has handled the whole thing so badly, right? Possibly one of the worst in the world. But then what would you expect when you put a clown in charge of the country? What did you expect, right? I believe, yeah, that there are some social care homes, right, that are suing the government on the back of people that of the back of the people that died. Remember, you got to remember, yeah, we had over 20,000 right people die in the first wave, right? In social care, people who had been sent from hospitals, right? With COVID, right, or into a situation where there was COVID. And these people have all been sent into our situation, and 20,000 of them have died in that situation. In the first wave. So our government is being sued, but what would you expect, right? You put a clown in charge of the country. What did you expect? But I personally think, yeah, that we should be like doing what the Brazilians are doing, right? Because it looks like, yeah, that Bolsonaro, right, the Brazilian, what is the president or prime minister, whatever he is, right? But it looks like, yeah, the part of the lawmakers in that country, right, are looking, right, to charge him with crimes against humanity, right? And you know something? That's exactly where Boris Johnson and his whole clique should be too, right? Because we all saw, right, the catastrophic way he's dealt with it, right? But the Brazilians are saying, you know what? No, you know what? You need to be charged with homicide, right? And I tell you something, yeah, that is the way how I believe, right, that all these countries, especially the countries that have done really badly throughout the pandemic, should really be held account, right, for what's gone on, right? Because they had the opportunity, right, of dealing with this thing properly, but they're more concerned about money, right? You look at the Australians and New Zealanders. Right, even now, right, one or two people get COVID, right, and these people are locking down, because for them it seems, yeah, that the preservation of life, right, is more important than that cold hard cash. It seems that it's much more important for them, right, than it is for us. Over here, people are like, no, we want to get the society back up and running. Our the economy. What about the 160,000 fucking dead people? right, about fucking economy. Fuck the economy, okay? Right? I much more care about the dead people, right? And I much more care about the people, right, who still can catch COVID and fucking die from this bullshit, right? You know, so I personally think that this country, an island, should have been much more right like Australia and New Zealand, right, where we're looking at people like America and saying, "Fucking hell, them motherfuckers is some crazy motherfuckers up in there," right? Because they didn't shut, because you know what, they didn't shut their society off, right, to the rest of the world. Because that's what you needed to do. Well, you know, even now, look how our numbers is like close on 50,000 people a day, right, being infected. You know, with for the last couple of days we've had nigh on 200 people a day dying again. So we're back to figures that we was at in March, right? 9,000 people a day being having to go into the hospital, right? So, and if this continues, right, soon they're going to be talking about, oh, you know what, we need to save the NHS, right? Even though they didn't save the NHS last time, but they say, oh, we saved it. They saved fuck all, right? You can't tell me 160,000 fucking people dead, right? And you saved the NHS. You saved fuck all, right? But as I said, yeah, we should be doing what the Brazilians are doing, right? And looking to fucking jail these motherfuckers, put them in fucking prison. That's what we should be doing. Right, because that's where they deserve to be. Right, trust me on this. Right, these people are fucking waste of space. Right, and the reason why we've got so much people dead and people suffering from long COVID, right, is because Boris Johnson is a complete and utter clown. That's why. Right, and you Brexiters, you are clowns. Right, for thinking that this man was a decent person to put in charge of this country. How do you feel now, seeing this bullshit? How do you feel? Right? A man who models himself off fucking Churchill. Of all the people, right? Of all the people that you say, you know what, I would like to look like this person from the past. Come on, Churchill's not one of them. No, he's not one of them. Do you know what I mean? And for Boris Johnson, yeah, for a man who's just in his fucking 50s, yeah, he looks like, for me, he looks more like a man who's in his mid 60s, really. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if he's purposely making himself off. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if he's purposely making himself look like that, but I'm telling you, when I look at him, I just think to myself, come on, man, this man should not be representing this country. No way. Right, just absolutely no way. Yeah, if you look at COP26 or whatever it is coming up, right? Why do you think like Putin and Xi Jinping, right, is just saying? Because you know what, yeah. Now that you Brexiters have made Britain into a nothing country, and them guys are like, Britain's not important. What do we need to go there for? What do we need to go there for? It's not important. Right. Now I guarantee you, yeah, that if we had a prime minister, yeah, that was respected around the world, because these guys, I'm telling you, right, these guys, they all think Boris Johnson is an idiot. If I think Boris Johnson is an idiot, right, what do you think Putin thinks of him? We know Merkel thinks he's a dickhead, right? But what do you honestly believe, yeah, that Xi Jinping thinks about Boris Johnson? Right? We all think he's a clown. Right? Let me tell you, right? They have exactly the same feelings about this man. This man that you Brexiters, right, and you TiVos, right, and you benefit Tories, right, and need I say you food bank Tories? Can I say that? Yeah, I can actually. You food bank Tories as well, right? This is the man that you people have put in charge. When you really had the chance for a decent prime minister, right, who would have been looking at your circumstances, right, not the circumstances of their friends and their family, right? But you decided, you know what, we're going to give the clown a chance. right? And all of a sudden, all of a sudden we had a pandemic, and then you must realize, yeah, and then we had the pandemic, and then looking at Brexit, knowing all the fucking lies, all of the lies. How comes Boris Johnson hasn't dealt with the social care issue? He just said, new taxes, all the lies, right? But still, you guys fell for the shit. And then we got all the supply chain experts, yeah, was up in Parliament just a couple of days ago, yeah, to explain to the government why we've got all these shortages, right? And a lot of them were breaking it down. It's COVID, but Brexit, right? I don't even know why the government need to ask, right? Why are we in this situation in the first place? They asked for 5,000 new HGV drivers to come from the EU, and they managed to get 20. That is how unattractive Britain is now. Unattractive. Right? Nobody wants to come here and work. Right? So the guys from the supply chains were just saying, you know what, this is it's basically here to stay. All this bullshit is here to stay. And then we've got a new deal with New Zealand. And you know something, yeah? Last night, yeah, I'm listening to these guys and they're like, oh yes, our new deal with New Zealand, right? And we're going to be you can be able to get cheap kiwi and wine. What? Cheap kiwi and cheap wine? Have we got a shortage of that? I know we've got some empty shells up in there, but have we got a shortage of kiwi fruit? And is kiwi fruit expensive? I don't know. I mean, has anyone ever thought to themselves, you know what? Let's get a deal with New Zealand, right? Let's leave the EU, get a deal with New Zealand so we can get cheap fucking kiwi. No mention of what New Zealand are really famous for, which is lamb and beef. That's what they're really famous for. But considering that our government are destroying farming over here, we're going to need new places to get lamb and beef from. So I hope you farmers, are really pleased, that you voted against your own interest. Okay? So if your farm is going to go bankrupt, right, don't worry, you can probably import some good meat from New Zealand up in there now. You see? All of this nonsense, it's all bullshit. Right? And you people Brexiters have brought this all on this country. Down to you. Your fault. Anyway, guys, this is By Any Means Necessary. I'm James C. John Ribbs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.